Hi, my name is Peter Slegers and I lead Cowell Clarke's Tax and Revenue Group. I'd like to talk to you today briefly about restructuring property in the context of SMEs. There's been a significant development in South Australia where we've had an abolition of stamp duty on the transfer of non-primary production non-residential land. If you couple that development with the new Small Business Restructure Roll-Over and traditional small business CGT concessions, there's some real opportunities to be achieved in looking at tax-effective restructures. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Joshua Pascale, who's going to take you through a few case studies.
So before moving to the case studies, it's probably just worthwhile considering why you would restructure. Well, first, it may be for asset protection purposes, quarantining land from business risk. It could be for moving to a more flexible, tax-effective structure, such as a discretionary trust. It could be for intergenerational, succession planning purposes, or it may be that you want to maximise your superannuation account balance by contributing business real property to an SMSF. So looking at example 1, we've got a company owned by husband and wife. That company conducts a business with a $5 million turnover and it also owns business premises with a $15 million market value. Now for asset protection purposes, you may wish to transfer that business premises to a discretionary trust. Now come 1 July 2018, if that business premises constitutes qualifying land, you will be able to transfer that premises free of duty implications. Better yet, if you're able to access the Small Business Restructure Relief, which looks at $10 million turnover as opposed to the Small Business CGT concessions $2 million turnover, then you are able to transfer that land without any direct taxation consequences. This doesn't just include CGT, but also deemed dividend provisions such as Division 7A. Moving on to example 2, here we have an individual who owns private production land with pre-CGT status, market value $10 million. That land is made available to a partnership with a $3 million turnover. Now previous thought may have been that we want to keep the land in the individual's name to preserve the pre-CGT status. Fortunately enough, with the new Small Business Restructure Relief, if we transfer that land to a new entity such as a discretionary trust, we are actually able to preserve that pre-CGT status. On the basis that the land qualifies for the private production duty exemption, you may also be able to transfer that land free of any duty implications. Just a word of caution, if you are going to rely on the Small Business Restructure Relief, that there is a requirement that there be a genuine restructure of an ongoing business. Now importantly, this does not include restructuring for succession planning purposes. So just be cautious of that in this context. Last example, here we have a discretionary trust which owns land. That can be qualifying land or private production land for the purposes of this example. That land is made available to a related party's business, and in this particular example, we've got husband and wife who are looking to transfer that land from a discretionary trust and contribute that land to their self-managed superannuation fund. On the basis that you satisfy the qualifying land or private production exemption, as we previously mentioned, the transfer should be effected duty-free. Finally, on the basis that you're able to access the small business CGT concessions, there is the potential to contribute the land as business real property under the CGT cap to an SMSF. Now for the 2018 income year, the CGT cap is $1.445 million, but this will increase in the 2019 income year.
Thanks Josh for taking us through those case studies. So important to emphasise that getting the detail is really significant here, so you really need to look at the legislation closely. Here at Cowell Clarke, we're in the business of providing specialist advice and also implementation of property restructures for SMEs, so feel free to contact us if you need assistance.